Up front tonight, we're going to bring you a report on a subject rarely treated on television, but it's a subject that affects millions of families who watch 20/20. About 1 out of 8 6-year-olds wets the bed at night, and over half of these will continue through age 10. Now, for the child who is a bedwetter, each morning brings a loss of self-respect. Humiliation often follows, and the child can become a source of family tension. It's a pretty tough burden if you're 6 years old and trying hard to grow up. And it's just as tough for parents who are searching for a solution. But as you'll see in John Stossel's report, there is a treatment that's proving very successful.
Go ahead.
Meet the Beasley family of Mason, Ohio.
How's it doing?
Tim, Brenda, 6-year-old Dawn. She's the oldest of 4 children. Though her 5-year-old sister and 3-year-old brother stay dry at night, Dawn isn't able to. She's a bedwetter. When the Beasleys asked their pediatrician about it, he said she'll grow out of it. And that's probably true. Most kids stop on their own by the time they reach adolescence. But for Dawn, that would be 6 painful years from now. Who wants to wait that long?
It's embarrassing for her. She can't go spend the night with anyone. When she has people over, it's embarrassing. Her room smells all the time. You can't get rid of the smell. Well, it's a lot of extra work for me because I have 3 other kids and I have to change her bed all the time.
How often?
She wets every night.
They tried all kinds of remedies.
We tried restricting fluids, waking her up, going like 11 or 12 at night, wake her up, take her potty. Sometimes she'd be dry, sometimes not, and the next day she'd still always be wet.
So they took her to a urologist.
And he tried 3 different kinds of bedwetting medicine, which didn't work.
The medicines do work for some children, but usually the effect is just temporary. When you stop taking the drug, the bedwetting resumes. Still, the drugs are useful if your child wants to go to camp or stay overnight somewhere. But in Dawn's case, they didn't work even temporarily. You took some medicines for this.
Uh-huh.
What happened?
I threw up.
Then Brenda heard this sleep disorders lab in Cincinnati has been treating bedwetters, so she and Dawn signed up. That's where we are now, talking with other parents. Barbara Sigmund brought in her 7-year-old because he wet the bed.
And I had to keep doing the sheets over and over and over and telling him it's okay, you'll grow out of it. And, he's not growing out of it, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Then I'm in a bad mood, and everybody's in a bad mood.
You made me mad.
Mm-hmm.
How'd she make you mad?
She yelled at me. She says she was just acting mean because I wet the bed.
Do you blame her for getting mad?
No, blame me.
Blaming yourself is a common problem for bedwetters. It is demeaning. After all, this is something your friends stopped doing years ago.
There's the constant dread that other people will find out.
Dr. Martin Scharf runs this clinic. He sees some 20 bedwetters a week.
The child will outgrow it eventually, but the question is at what price?
Why are you so interested in this subject?
Well, I can certainly understand the discomfort that children are going through, having been a bedwetter myself till at least age 8. And I can remember being afraid in terms of whether or not I could sleep at a friend's house. And in one particular occasion, did sleep at a friend's house and actually wet his bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and hovered in the corner of the bed, hoping that that side of the bed would dry and that no one would notice.
And you stayed awake all night?
I stayed awake all night. And I was mortified. And that's 25 years ago, and I still remember the experience.
Today, scientists think bedwetting often runs in families. Dr. Scharf won't argue with that.
I never found out until many years later that my father was a bedwetter.
If both your parents were bedwetters, the odds are 3 to 1 that you'll be one too. Like Jonathan Dews. His mother wet the bed till she was 14.
I would be afraid to go to bed at night because I knew that I'd get a spanking the next morning. I tried to get up at night, but I wouldn't wake up till it was already too late.
So spanking you didn't help?
No, it didn't help. That's why I won't spank him.
But spanking and shaming have been the frustrated parents' traditional approach. In this television movie, Michael Landon tells the story of his difficult childhood as a bedwetter. How he got up extra early in the morning to change the sheets so his parents wouldn't know he was still wetting the bed. He He'd run down to the laundromat to clean the sheets there.
2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate?
When his parents did find out, they hung his sheets out the window. Like many parents, they believed the child would stop if he was humiliated or punished. Say the experts, that doesn't work.
These children desperately want to stop, and they would do anything to be able to stop. I mean, you're wetting on yourself. You have to lie in it.
Today they say that most bedwetting is basically two problems. First, the child has a small bladder capacity. They just can't hold that much. Second, their brain isn't picking up the signal from their full bladder very well. It doesn't wake them up. So what do you do about it? Well, the treatment is twofold. You train the brain and you train the bladder. And this is something that you can do with your kids at home. To train the bladder, Dr. Scharf and other experts say, drink more during the day and then hold it as long as you can. And when you do go to the bathroom, stop in midstream several times. This increases bladder capacity. To train the brain, they used a device called the Bell and Pad. This one fits under the sheets. You can buy them for $40 or so at Sears, other department stores. Better yet, you can go to a surgical supply house and buy this type of Bell and Pad that fits in your child's underwear. When it gets wet, an alarm goes off. The idea is that just as you may wake up before your alarm clock goes off, these devices should train your child to wake up before their bladder goes off. It teaches them to respond to the signal from their bladder sooner.
Jeff tried the Bell and Pad for
3 months.
3 months of,
Yeah.
of having that alarm go off?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
It was going beep, 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 but it was louder.
This is sort of an embarrassing problem. Why are you all talking about this on television?
I think it's very beneficial for other children to hear about it. Think about going through life 10, 12 years old, every night, feeling real bad about yourself, having a real bad self-image. You know, if he can reach some other child so that they can be treated like he was, everybody's going to be happier.
Will the treatment work for Dawn?
What do you hope will happen?
I don't wet the bed no more.
Tonight will be Dawn's first night with the Bell and Pad. She's already done 2 weeks of bladder exercises, and that's doubled her bladder capacity. Dawn's family allowed us to come home with them so we and you could see what happened. Dr. Scharf had given Dawn the type of Bell and Pad device where the sensor is in her underwear.
Snap them together. There.
The alarm is strapped to her wrist.
Your wrist just like this. Buckles are real loose on you. You've got little tiny wrists, don't you? How's that feel?
Dawn's a little nervous about this. You can see it as she watches her mother prepare her sister for bed. What's ahead?
Dad. Give Mommy kisses. Hurry up. Lay down.
Night-night. Squirt.
Will the alarm wake her up? Will it stop her from wetting the bed? We stayed to find out. An hour and a half later, she started wetting the bed. Dawn is groggy with sleep, but she instinctively rushed to the bathroom.
You awake? Huh? You tired? Did it scare you? You don't like the beeper?
You don't like this? Well, you want to stop wetting the bed, don't you? See, if you don't wet the bed, then you don't have to listen to the beeper.
This alarm system seems sort of brutal. You're hooked up to wires and this loud alarm.
Well,
blares.
the alarm has to be loud enough to awaken a child from very deep sleep.
There you go.
Let's go. Oh, whoa, sweetheart, this way.
Yeah, there's your bedroom.
But imagine the feeling on the part of the child the first morning that the alarm did not go off. It's a tremendous sense of accomplishment.
Right there. Lay down.
Because you didn't wet the bed that much. You got up real quick. That's good, Dawn.
That's a good girl.
That's good.
She now wets her bed every night. When do you think will be the first night when she doesn't?
We would hope to see within a matter of weeks a clear change in the frequency of her bedwetting.
You want the blanket on top?
The results are very dramatic in the first month.
Hey. If you need us, holler, okay? Night night.
You did good get up all by yourself. You know that, don't you?
Dawn's alarm went off 3 more times that night. But 12 nights later, she had her first dry night ever. At the end of a month, we came back for a second look. At this point, Dr. Scharf had decided to overtrain her by having her consume an extra glass of water before going to bed.
One more. Almost done.
Would Dawn be able to stay dry after drinking all that water? We waited and waited. By dawn's early light, our Dawn was still fast asleep in a dry bed.
She's doing real good. She's doing fantastic. She slept all night. She hates the sound of the beeper. She's fighting against it. I think she's winning.
Jonathan won too, and so did Jeff.
I'm not wetting the bed anymore.
Not at all?
No.
Does that make you happy?
Yes, really happy.
Now you can go to a friend's house.
I want to, but nobody invited me yet.
And Dawn, well, she stopped using the alarm and then had a relapse. She started wetting the bed when school began. That's common. The doctor put her back on the alarm, and she's now been dry most every night. She can tell us with conviction.
I won't wet the bed no more.
John, is this foolproof? Does this work for every child?
If you do the whole treatment, it works for just about everybody. But by whole treatment, I mean not just the bell and pad, but also the bladder training exercises, and also get counseling if you can, because this takes several months and it can cause family tensions.
If people are watching and want counseling, where do you go?
A sleep disorder clinic, if you can find one, or just call a teaching hospital, a children's hospital.
And say that you need information on bedwetting.
Ask for
How
help.
old should the kids be?
Dr. Scharf doesn't treat them until they're 6. He says they have to understand what this is about. And I should also point out, this is for kids who have never been dry, who have always wet the bed. If your child was dry for a while and then at 8 or 10 or 12, then they started wetting the bed, that's different. That's probably emotional. They need psychological counseling, not a bell and pad.
A particular stressful situation or something may have brought it on.
Divorce, a death, just family tension.
I think it's so important that we show this. I'm sure there are so many little kids and somewhat older kids who've been terribly ashamed, and to know that there is help available must be a great relief.
I think so. It does work.
Thanks, John.
Just to the end of our program. It's 2020 for tonight. We are in touch, so you be in touch. I'm Hugh Downs.
And I'm Barbara Walters.
And for all of us at 2020, good night.
You're getting ready to plan your day, so you need to know what the weather will be like. Join me, Glenn Ryle, for the Eyewitness 12 Morning Report, weekday mornings at 6:30, and get a complete local forecast you can rely on.